Welcome to my naturally sweetened life. Let's pressure can some homemade chicken stock. For this video, I'm going to assume that you have a batch of chicken stock already made. If you've never made chicken stock before, I will leave a link in the description below so that you can get the full printable instructions. Before you get started canning, there is some prep work that you need to do. First, wash your jars in hot soapy water. This is a really good time to check your jars for any cracks or chips, and if you do find any, just throw that jar away and get a new one. Rinse them thoroughly and set them aside, and we will use those in a moment. Next, strain the chicken stock. I do this in 2 steps. The first step is just using a fine mesh sieve and pouring the broth through that sieve so that I can get all the bigger bits out of my chicken stock. The second step is I pour my chicken stock through a cheesecloth. This catches all of the little bits of seasoning or any bits from cooking down the bones, and I'll show you what that looks like here in a second. This is what's left behind. See those little bits? Ooh, I don't know about you, but I don't want that in my chicken stock, and that would make it really cloudy once it's canned. Plus it catches all the little tiny bits of herbs that I put in there that the fine mesh sieve just couldn't catch. Okay, now our chicken stock is clean. It's clear and ready to can. Use a funnel at the top of your jar and ladle in your chicken stock. I'm using my measuring cup. You can use a ladle or whatever vessel you want. But you fill the jar all the way up to 1-inch headspace. And at this time, make sure that you have your canner set up on the stove and turned on to medium heat, but just leave the lid off of your canner until we have all the jars inside. Now that it's filled with chicken stock, I'm going to dip my paper towel into white vinegar and then rub it all over the rim of that jar. And then put the lid on and put the ring on. Don't put it super tight, just enough to hold on the ring. You're going to repeat this process until all the jars are filled and put into the canner. Put the lid on the canner, lock it into place, and let it sit and heat up until a steady stream of steam comes out of the vent. I can't quite capture it very well. I hope you can see that, but there is a steady stream of steam. Once that happens, you turn on the timer for 10 minutes and let it vent. After the 10 minutes, you're going to place your weight on top of the vent, and then we wait again until the weight begins to rock back and forth. Once it rocks back and forth, you process the chicken broth for the correct time that is right for your altitude. If you don't know your altitude, find out what it is. I'll leave a link in the description for you. Once the processing time is over, turn the heat off and everything will start to calm down and cool off. You want to wait until this little guy in the back here falls down flat. I can't remember the name right now, but once he pops down, you're going to take the weight off and then you're going to open up the lid, but don't take the lid off right away because it is super hot in there. And you're going to experience siphoning if you take the jars out right away. So let it cool off a little bit. And then after about 5 to 10 minutes, come back and take your jars out and put them on a towel-lined countertop. The towel is a buffer to the cold countertop. You never want to put your hot jars on a cold countertop because you could make them crack and break open. That's it. You're done. You did it. So let the jars cool completely and then come back and check the seal. Take the rings off because they're no longer needed, and wash your jars with hot soapy water or maybe some vinegar, and then label them and store them in a cool, dry place. And now you have homemade convenience food, a really healthy homemade chicken stock. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and please consider subscribing to the channel. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later.